Alright, so this is my She-Hulk episode 9 review, aka the season finale. And okay, it started off strong and then went really bizarre. So we start off with the theme from the 1970s Incredible Hulk TV show, but it's Jen instead of Bruce Banner. Well, actually, they called him David Banner in the TV show. Why they changed his name, not a clue. Since Stan Lee had something to do with that TV show, it couldn't be a rights issue. So, don't know. Anyway, so, she wakes up and Nikki, Mallory, and Pug are all there, checking up on her, wanting to help her out, and she's just wanting to get the intelligentsia. And Mallory's like, let's help you first. So the DA agrees to drop all charges, because Jen doesn't understand that the witnesses see her as a monster because, well, she kind of lost her shit for a minute. Which, like Mallory pointed out, she said, who wouldn't be angry about what happened? And that's true. Revenge porn, should induce anger in the victim. Unfortunately, like Mallory pointed out, she is not like most people because she is a Hulk. And so there was a plea deal reached that if Jen wears that inhibitor, that the charges will be dropped. So we see her in various states of depression, and by that I mean her cleaning out her apartment, her going to live with her parents, which, by the way, her father, Morris, should win Dad of the Year because a bunch of reporters were trying to get to Jen while she was going to her parents' house, and Morris went after them with a garden hose. Which he's like, yeah, there's a drought, but I've got water pressure for days. I love him. I love him so much. He's awesome. So yeah, he should totally get Dad of the Year. He's such a sweetheart. They're planning out his mom to be a bit of an airhead. I mean, not the part about her, oh, we could be workout buddies now. And Jen's like, just kill me now. But when Jen is lying on her bed and her mom wants her help to move something, not understanding that Jen cannot turn into She-Hulk with the inhibitor on. So because she can't turn into She-Hulk, she can't move things the way her mom wants her to. So yes, they portrayed her as an airhead. I do not remember her parents in the comic, so I don't know if this is comic book accurate. So, then there's this voiceover, about, before that, there's this montage of her doing things. Her mom even sent Nikki this video from her in college. What possessed her to do that? I do not know. But they're working out how to figure out who's behind intelligentsia and how to take them down. So Jen eventually decides first she tries texting Bruce. Then, oh yes, and Pug, who I've mentioned before, I just love him so much. Um, she asked if they called Bruce, and he's like, I left several messages and I remained calm despite the fact that I was talking to the Incredible freaking Hulk. I mean, he's adorable. He totally is a fan of Avengers. By the way, I've heard people using the word stan. What the hell? We have a perfectly good word. What the hell does stan mean? I mean, I know what it means in context, but we have fan. Why? Anyway, so he's being used in direct contrast to Todd. So, she's trying to text Bruce, and I'm sure at this point Bruce is probably like, dudes, leave me alone. I'm kind of busy. So, so then she decides the only person who understands, besides Bruce, what she's going through is Emil Blonsky. So she texts him asking if his offer is still good, and then she's like, screw it, I'm just gonna go. So she drives to the it's not a refuge. She goes to where his retreat is. That's the word, retreat. And she's met with one of the wrecking crew who is so absolutely sweet. And he gives her a hug, which takes her off guard, and he offers her tea, and apparently Sarson, is that his name? He puts chicken blood in the tea, and he's like, yeah, no, not doing that. That he has to keep him from doing that. And then he drinks the tea and is like, needs chicken blood. So he's telling Jen about, that he's that he's doing something, downstairs in the basement or whatever. And as she's about to go in, we go to Nikki, who uses as an in with the intelligentsia that very video of Jen from in college. And at first I'm like, wait, what? And she even is praying that Jen forgives her for what she's doing. And this was just basically just so she could get in with the intelligentsia. But then she sees the word bro and realizes she herself cannot meet with these people because she's a woman. So she calls on Pug. And dear sweet Pug, Nikki is giving him the lowdown of how to speak incel, like referring to women as females. And so that's sad that women know how to talk incel and could talk a man through dealing with these lowlifes. So, Pug is so not into doing this. I mean, it goes against everything he is. A nice, decent human being who doesn't hate women. And like I said, a stark contrast to Todd. Classic incel. Todd is. So he walks into this area, and Nikki wants him to strike up a conversation and, just see what he can learn. And he ends up seeing Todd, and Nikki's like, Todd? Oh, well, yeah, that actually checks out. Which it does. It totally does. He totally acts like an incel. And for those who don't know, incel is short for involuntary celibate. And these people are generally guys who think they're these awesome men who for some reason women do not want because women are horrible people, not because they're the ones who are horrible people. So, yeah. Todd and Pug are complete opposites of each other. Todd actually is respectful, and that is why he could probably get a date. Whereas Todd will never get a date in his entire life. I don't think even a prostitute would want him, simply because of the way he sees women. Like earlier in the season when he referred to Jennifer as a specimen and somehow thought that if he said that it was in a good way, that she would just swoon or something. Because, yeah, women want to be called specimens. Right. Anyway, so he's obviously uncomfortable. But Todd totally believes that Pug could be one of them. So he obviously doesn't see Pug as a Chad. So I guess yay. But so I guess that's a compliment. I don't think so, but okay, whatever. So Nikki at some point loses connection with Pug, and she's like, "It's okay. He can improvise. This man does not know how to improvise." And if you think about it, he's such a sweet guy, and he has no understanding of the world of incels, that he couldn't improvise because he has no concept of what he's dealing with, because these people are that vile. So Todd mentions he's Hulk King and that he put together the intelligentsia. He probably did that because poor She-Hulk hurt his little feelings because she wouldn't sleep with him. But anyway, I was rather disappointed that it was Todd who put together the intelligentsia, because the intelligentsia in the comics are actually made up of supervillains like the Leader and MODOK, not a bunch of incels who need to make fun of women and revenge porn women and slut shame them in order to feel like you're not the horrible excuse for a human being that they really are. So, as they're at this event, Todd introduces Emil Blonsky, the Abomination, and he's just doing this for speaking events. As he tells Jed later, this is just for the money. This is just a speaking engagement. It's not that he believes their crap. So, he introduces Emil, and he says, "Oh, I hear you want to better yourselves, blah, 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 blah." And I'm just like, wait, what? I don't think these guys want to better themselves. If they did, they wouldn't be shitting on a woman just because she's a woman. Like, they don't like her because she didn't earn becoming She-Hulk, because she got her powers from her cousin. What exactly do they think? How exactly do they think Bruce got his powers? I mean, it's not like he intended to become the Incredible Hulk. This was not in the plans. But anyway, so Jen walks in and sees this, and like I said, Emil explains that this isn't what she thinks. that this is just a speaking engagement. I still don't know what a self-help guru like Emil could possibly offer these schmucks. So, then they want to attack Jen, and Emil grabs her and picks her up and swats people away because he's trying to protect her. And Titania comes in at this point, and well, actually, first Todd says that he's that they stole her blood, that he paid Josh to seduce her so they could get her blood, and he injected himself. And of course, he becomes the Hulk. Then Titania comes in, and she starts swatting at the intelligentsia because, again, these guys are incels. They think they're God's gift to women when they're the absolute opposite. They're pond scum. Because now there are a lot of former incels who realize that I acted like a complete moron. You know, I treated women badly. I didn't take care of myself. So it's possible to be a former incel. But for the most part, they suck. And so Titania is, of course, going to be on the side of Jen in this case because she knows what it's like to deal with these schmucks. So then Bruce comes in and he sees Emil holding his cousin, and he immediately starts attacking Emil because he must obviously be trying to hurt her when he's trying to explain that this is far from the truth. And then we have the fourth wall break to end all fourth wall breaks. And Jen's like, okay, things have completely gone off the rails. What the hell's going on? And she decides, and she's like, you're probably not going to even want to watch anymore. And then you see the Disney Plus Marvel section of Disney Plus. And so she's like, yeah, you can't get rid of me that easy. And knocks through her thumbnail and is looking around and goes to the Avengers Assembled thumbnail, which is the behind the scenes show that Marvel puts together. And she's walking through the lot, and it's the actual Disney lot. So she's walking through, and she opens the door to the writer's room. And these are the actual writers. The woman in red, that's Jessica Gao. And she walks in, and as they're talking about season 2 should be just a dream. And I'm like, really? We're going to invoke Dallas, which, for those who don't know, used to be a nighttime soap opera in the 80s. And one season of that show was literally one of the characters' dreams. It was that's how they decided to write themselves out of the corner they put themselves in. It's just, oh yeah, this whole thing was a dream. And of course, people have been making fun of it ever since then. So she is asking for what the holy hell is going on. Why are you writing a twist that doesn't need to be a twist? Because everything is crazy. So, they mention that, you know, that this is just, that they have to do what Kevin wants. And, so Jen asks about Kevin, and they're laughing that nobody goes to see Kevin, blah, blah, blah. Which is, of course, a reference to Kevin Feige, who is actually, from what I'm I've heard, a pretty cool dude. People like working for him, so he's not a horrible person. So she walks to his office, and there are a bunch of security guards that are trying to stop her, and I'm like, really? What? So she, of course, has her hallway scene and gets to his office, and it turns out that he's a talking camera, it seems like, with what looks like a Kevin Feige hat on, because Kevin Feige is always wearing these baseball caps. And he kindly asks her to depower because budgetary issues. So this is Marvel making fun of themselves because some of the CGI was a bit junky. But so she's telling Kevin that she should have control of her own show, that this is crazy, and why are you trying to make all shows alike, because the shows always have to have these stupid twists that are unnecessary. So she said she doesn't want Todd to have powers because that's cliche, that the bad guy gets the superhero's powers. That, what the hell is Bruce doing there saving her? It's her freaking show. She shouldn't be saved by her cousin. And Emil Blonsky should atone for his sins. Okay, fine. So, and at this point I'm like, okay, it's a bit long, but all right. She retconned her season finale, so I thought that they would, back it up a little and that Todd would die, because it was mentioned in the first episode of the season that they were given lethal amounts of radiation. It's just that people like Bruce, Jen, and Emil have a genetic mutation that turns them into Hulks instead of killing them. And so why is Todd... he didn't gain powers, but he didn't die either. So after she makes all these changes, she goes back, and Kevin said, yeah, you can't come here anymore. This is a one-time thing. You're not getting through again. And he also made reference to how Bruce was supposed to explain where he'd been all this time, and she's like, yeah, save it for the movie. And I'm like, yeah, how about not having him in a fight? You can do that without that. But anyway. So she goes back, and it's post-fight. The intelligentsia are being arrested, and she walks as She-Hulk towards Todd, and Titania had the best line. She's recording for her viewers saying that you are all about to witness a murder. Which, yeah, he probably deserves that. But like I said, it should have been because he took a lethal amount of gamma radiation, not because She-Hulk is going to kill him. And he actually thought that she was going to kill him. He was getting ready for a blow. But she didn't. She did power and said that I'll see you in court. And it looked like he seemed like he was going to be all creepy again. And I don't know if he was just going to hug her or maybe make some sort of stupid comment about how that must mean something beyond that she isn't going to kill him. But the police stopped him. And then Matt shows up. And I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. Why did he get to show up, after the fact? So she's like, yeah, you missed everything. Yeah, we missed everything because we didn't get to see the proper fight. We just, you know, saw the aftermath. And so then there's another family dinner, but this one's outside. And so they're chatting, and her aunt is totally hitting on Matt. And he's mentioning that he works in Hell's Kitchen and that's where he grew up, and that basically he mentioned that he mostly does pro bono work because he's helping people who can't afford to pay. And both Rebecca and her dad, Jen's dad, are both like, wait, so you don't have money? And Jen's like, oh my God, leave him alone. And so then, I forgot. Wait, was it after? So then we see Bruce. He's like, oh, let me tell you about what I was doing while on Sakaar. And everyone's perfectly calm with the fact that he was saying that he was on Sakaar. I'm like, wait, did he tell anybody? Why is everyone calm? And the next reveal, it was like, wait, why? Seriously, why is everyone calm? Because he introduces his son, Scar. And everybody's just totally cool with it. And Jen's like, wait, what? She's the only one who's freaking out. She's like, what? What's going on? What do you mean, son? What's going on? And Matt's like, so that's your family. And so then I believe it ends with Jen going to court to deal with the scumbags. And so there's a reporter, and he asks her about the case, and that she said that if anybody, that she wants to make an example of them, that you can't go after defenseless people. Technically, they didn't go after a defenseless person, they went after you. I wouldn't call you defenseless, but yeah, a lot of these scumbags do go after defenseless people. That, oh, you won't give me the time of day, so I'm going to make your life miserable. So yeah, that happens. And so yes, sir. So are you going to do this as She-Hulk or as a lawyer, or as Jen? As a lawyer? And she goes, both. So yes, we're going to get more Jen. Because the writer's room scene implied there's going to be a season 2. There was a funny joke about that she won't be in any movies. But maybe she will, because if there's a World War Hulk movie, why wouldn't Jen be a part of that? But anyway. Oh yes, and when Bruce attacked Blonsky, I thought they were good. So anyway, so the post-credit scene, because yes, there was a post-credit scene in this episode, was Emil just chilling out and in Damage Control's prison, and Wong comes in. He finally accepted Wong's offer of asylum. So he heads out with Wong. So that's how it ends. Now, yeah, I would have liked to seen a proper fight as opposed to beginnings of one and then things going off the rails and then suddenly it's after the fact. I mean, I did enjoy, dealing with seeing the writers. That was fun. And I would have preferred if Kevin was voiced by Kevin Feige. That would have been fun. But for the most part, this season's been good. I did quite enjoy it. This episode, not so much. I know they were going for zany, and I appreciate the attempt, but yeah. Yeah, I would have preferred a proper fight and for her to take down the intelligentsia on her own and possibly even with Titania. I would have been fine with Titania because this is totally a woman's issue. Dealing with men who, because they're so far up their own asses and thinking that they're so great, and then trying to ruin a woman simply because she made the mistake of not wanting to have anything to do with said scumbags. So, yeah, the Titania part I would have been fine with. So, but yeah, I would have preferred more of a fight. Jen dealing with the intelligentsia on her own terms, possibly with the help of Nikki and Pug. So yeah, that I would have preferred that, but they got in all their points that they wanted to. Incels are men who deserve to be laughed at and deserve our scorn. So yeah, that part I liked. Let me think if I'm missing anything. Again, Emil Blonsky did emphasize that he was just doing this for money. And like I said, I would have liked to have seen actually even Blonsky help out in the fight. Not because Jen needs a man helping her, but just to see the absolute look on all the intelligentsia's faces when they realize that not all men hate She-Hulk because she's a woman who happens to exist. So yeah, that would have been nice to see. I think I've covered everything from this episode. So probably the next episode, Marvel episode that I'm going to cover is probably Secret Invasion, which is supposed to air sometime in early 2023. They don't have a set date yet. So it's just finish Andor, and I don't know, that's probably the earliest I'll do videos again. So I will see you guys next time.